name is Rose Moses. I'm First Nations. I'm Ojibwe First Nations from Northern Ontario, near Sudbury, which is Ojibwe territory. I live near Perth now, so I also acknowledge that this is Algonquin territory, and I've lived here for almost 20 years now. I didn't grow up in a traditional First Nations manner. I was in non-native foster homes most of my life, so anything that I've learned now, I've had to kind of reach back and try and teach myself. So I am a First Nations doll maker, which is also very healing as well. It's a healing modality that I use to help heal myself from all kinds of different traumas. I do quilt work. I do quilting. I do paint. I do collage work. I have a whole series on residential schools that I do with collage work. And I upcycle furniture, but I also do beadwork. And that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit today, is the beadwork. I'm second generation residential school survivor, so I use art a lot for my healing. Every day I do something artistic, and it helps keeps me grounded. It keeps me connected with the spirit world, and it keeps me connected with my ancestors. For the beading, I taught myself, first of all, I saw beadwork and it was calling to me. It just made me so happy to see it. And I had to see it, I had to feel it, I had to touch it, I had to learn about it. And for a long time, I stood watching others do beadwork and buying their beadwork and just admiring it from afar, until one day I decided I was going to try it myself. And I didn't have anyone really teach me how to do it. I was inspired by other First Nation artists, and I just started practicing. I went on YouTube channels, I went to books, I talked to other beaders, and eventually I taught myself how to bead. And I've been doing it for about 10 years now, and people actually buy my work. I put it on my dolls, I put it on my, I put it on everything I can manage. And I have some examples here that I'll show you in a minute. I taught my sister how to do beadwork two winters ago, I think it was. And I really didn't even think she was interested. I didn't think it would stick at all, but now she is a better beader than I am. She does amazing pieces, and she agrees that it keeps her calm, it makes her happy, and she also has a lot of trauma too. She lost her twin sister to suicide, so I think just by doing the beadwork, it helps her every morning to connect with spirit, with creator, and it keeps her quiet and grounded. And I think that's the sense for most people who do artwork, whatever it is. Art has tremendous ability to heal the spirit. And I didn't go into it knowing that. I just felt it when I was doing it. So anyways, I have some books here. I don't know if anyone has ever done beading before, but I have all kinds of books that I take and I look at, and I look at the beadwork and I admire it from afar, and then I read about it, all the different stories. The original beadwork was done in the 1800s, and back then our ancestors that did beadwork didn't have electricity like we do today, and they didn't have eyeglasses or magnifying glasses like we all have today, access to that. So they had to do it without, they did it by the fire, they did it by a coal oil lamp, they did it, I have no idea how they did it, because the beads back then were even smaller than the beads that I work with today. So I have no idea how they did it. It's just amazing. And when you go to the museum, if you ever get a chance, and you see the original beadwork, you'll see how tiny those beads are. They're so tiny. Anyways, so some of the beadwork that I do now, I do a lot of beadwork I put on felt, and then I'll frame it. Everything that I do is upcycled. So the frame is upcycled. The felt on the back used to be someone's coat. if I'm doing doll making or quilting, I use old clothes. I don't buy a lot of fabric, but I upcycle a lot of old clothes. Um, and that's the way I prefer to work. If I'm painting on a canvas, I'll use a canvas that's already been painted on. I can't paint on a brand new canvas. It intimidates me. So all of these pieces here I've beaded. Animals, flowers, um, anything I can think of, and I sell my beadwork. My dolls are First Nation dolls, no-face dolls, and I have started putting beadwork on them now that I know how to do the beadwork. Then I started making, I have 3 dogs. I have a German Shepherd, a Samoyed, and a Husky. And so I got very interested in First Nation dog blankets. And those were up north. They would have the dogs racing, and every dog would have a blanket on them with bells. So that coming to the finish line, you could hear the dogs coming to the finish line. So I did a whole series of dog blankets with beaded work on them and ribbons and whatnot as well. And those I donated to Save a Dog Network, which does a lot of work with First Nations communities. So that's some of the work I do. I just wanted to show you the book that I did get is this book here. It's written by a male bead worker. He's Métis. And it's a really good book if you're interested in doing any beadwork because it starts right from the beginning. It gives you the history. It shows you how to do it. It gives you some templates with some patterns and whatnot. So that's how I kind of got started too, was looking at different books